All right, hello everyone. It is Masterclass Day. Very excited to be here. So I'm going to let this open up. Let me see here. Just letting it have. Sorry, I'm doing a little bit of. Hang tight, everyone. Welcome, welcome. As we are getting settled in and just working through some of the logistics here in terms of just getting everything set up here, just bear with as you're coming into the room. A little bit of, I'm going to say, housekeeping before we get started is that this is streaming on multiple platforms today. So I invite you to chat. I invite you to engage. I have my wonderful assistant, Ivy, here helping. And we are going to try to moderate as much as we can all of the comments and the questions. But because it is streaming on so many platforms today, just pardon if we do miss the comments. If you comment in the private chat, we will get your private chat and we will be able to see any of your questions. If you comment from the platform that you are viewing, we will not be able to see probably everyone's at this time. So I would recommend, if you are wanting to bring in a question, that I will be answering questions at the end of this masterclass, then I recommend you putting the question in the private chat. But do welcome yourself here. I welcome you and would love to know where you are viewing from. And you can comment as you desire, and maybe put what platform that you are viewing from. Let me go ahead and just close this out. I'm going to remove here. So sorry, I just had a few things popping up here from logistics. Okay, so welcome. So excited. So today's masterclass, we have it titled here, Pilates with Purpose. But it goes so much deeper than that. It's, this consciousness, this awareness that is in your movement. So it's this conscious movement, conscious Pilates, so that you can gain the confidence in your mind and your body so that you can unleash that life that you desire. You can unleash any of those desires, whether it's weight release, whether it is finding that inner strength that can help you live that life that you desire. So welcome. So we're going to get started here with just a little bit about what conscious Pilates is. Yesterday I had the question, Lauren, I'm not quite sure what conscious Pilates means. Well, conscious Pilates is really about awareness, right? The key to really understanding yourself is establishing the skill, because it is a skill, to be aware of, to be conscious in the here and now. And what I've found over my 20 years of teaching is that that has been missing. We have so many to-do lists, and we have digital, madness going on in today's world, that we are so distracted. And so we approach a lot of our activities, our daily acts of living, in a very distracted state of mind. And this is a disruptor. And I truly feel that is what has led to a lot of disconnect from our body, which is disconnecting us to our life. And that has led to that loss of confidence. And here we're going to talk about how you can start today to unleash your life by finding that confidence. Because it is more than a workout. This is truly a lifestyle. It is covering all areas of your wheelhouse, which I will get to in just a moment. And it's going to remove the overwhelm. Today, we're going to remove any word of diet. We don't talk diets here. We don't talk about what fitness routine you need to be doing. Fitness is not in my vocabulary any longer. This is a movement lifestyle. And when you establish this, I promise you will live the life that you desire. So it starts with this foundation work. the foundation. And so this is the wheelhouse that I refer to. And I ask all my clients to really take a mental snapshot of this wheel of life, this wheelhouse, so that every day you can wake up and go, where am I feeling a little depleted, deficient? Where am I feeling like I need a little bit more lift and compression and expansion? And every day we are different. So it may be today you're not feeling really physically there. So maybe you've rated this down here at a 2 or a 3. That means we need to do a little bit of work. So you can take all of these areas and let's focus right here on this inner circle. So we're going to start with what I refer to as the foundation part of the wheel of life: your spiritual health, emotional, and your physical. These three really are the base of our triangle, which I usually have that. And here is where you really want to get grounded. This is where you are rooting into the essence of who you are. And then that is what is going to then fuel and feed the rest of this wheel that's going to help you find that smoothly running life of yours and releasing all of those unwanted symptoms that you may be carrying. So as I said, it could be that you want to release weight. You want to sleep better. You want to release any of the emotional distress, the overwhelm, the anxiety. You're wanting just to feel better and have stronger relationships. Doing this work, again, I can guarantee that if you show up and you do it and you really work on sharpening these skills, you will have your wheel running very smoothly. So it all starts with the balance of the foundation work, which is really focusing here, and then we start to move into these other areas. Okay, so please, ask any questions. Again, I recommend putting the questions in the private chat, and then towards the end, I will come to those questions. Have a piece of notebook paper, have a pen with you. These, if I can say that this is a writer downer, right here, this is a writer downer, really establishing this foundation work of your spiritual, emotional, and physical health. All right, now we're going to have fun. So if you don't know me, Lauren is known to have fun. I love having fun. And fun, in my opinion, has been missing in a lot of our daily acts of living. And if you're not having fun doing what you're doing, even if they are mundane tasks, even if it might be difficult, even if that movement is really challenging, it still should be fun. So we're all about having laughter. So I thought I would bring a little bingo into the game, into the house here. So I shared the card with everyone, but if you don't have it, don't stress. So I'm going to bring forward a little bit of laughter because this has been a joke in our studio all of the years that I've been teaching, and we refer to the bingo arms. How many of you hi everybody. How many of you have said, oh my gosh, because you look at my bingo arms? And we are flabbing. My kids used to joke and they would call it the bingo arms. So we're going to play a little bingo that, guess what, is going to get rid of any bingo arms or any other parts that you feel like you want to get rid of. So if you don't have a card with you, I sent it. It's okay. You can just look at the card here on the screen. I have my little dish here with all of our cards. And so I'm not sure if any of you read, but we have some really cool prizes and some pretty nice prizes coming here. So for this round of bingo, you get a free 1-hour session with me. We deep dive into your personal strategy. I go deep with all of you, all of my clients, and we develop a custom strategy for you, because if it's not customized for you, it's not going to work. And that is a guarantee. That is why The industry is really struggling because we are confused, and that's what I want to help release. So we ready to play a little bingo? This is going to be for a 1-hour session with me, where we are going to deep dive into a custom plan for you. Okay, here we go. First one is going to be da, 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 da. Okay, this is extension. Okay, so let me give you a little, so as you're looking on your board here, extension is going to be, I guess we needed to mix it up. That's okay. We're going to have fun with this. So extension, I'm bringing words forward or terms forward. That is the language that we use quite often in every session. As we are moving, but also as we are talking about life. So as we are extending into life, we also can use it as extension of the body. As a matter of fact, it would be, do you see this curve here of conscious Pilates? That is actually flexion. Sorry, I'm going to do it. Extension would be the other way. It's like you're in a back bend. Okay, so extension. So finding that on your board. The one I have up here is going to, of course, all be the same. So that's why I was laughing a little bit there, but we're going to have fun with it. All right, now we're going to move to the next one. I'll shake them up. And we are going to move into, the pelvic floor. So the pelvic floor, yes, guys, girls, we all have a pelvic floor. And the pelvic floor is something that we often dismiss or we don't want to talk about because it's a little too personal. We don't want to talk about anything leaking or doing anything that is not operating very well for us because it just is very, somewhat taboo for a lot of people. But I want you to open up to it. The pelvic floor is huge. And actually, I have a workshop coming up here that I'm super excited about with Ingrid, she and I are going to co-facilitate just on the pelvic floor. So if you have an interest in that, while I'm throwing this out very spontaneously, drop in a private chat so that Ivy can get your name and I can add you to the list for that workshop because it's going to be powerful. But the pelvic floor, you guys, is huge. If we have a pelvic floor that's not functioning correctly, I can tell you it is likely caused by some other part of you that is not functioning correctly. And when you have a pelvic floor dysfunction, it can impact so much of your life, as we know. And I think we all can attest that we need to talk about it more. We've all had problems, and it's a huge part of the whole core of our body. So pelvic floor, we can talk a lot more about that. All right, the next one is going to be a flow state. All right, so I'm just going to have to go back to the wheel of life. Bear with as I go back here to look at this wheel of life. So we want all of this humming. Yes, we want all of this moving really smoothly. And that, my friends, is living in a flow state. A flow state is when you are able to transition into any next activity, any next move, that you're going to be able to move very smoothly. And that is truly a flow state where you're not disrupted. You are not in a state that is causing you to live very, out of balance. Okay. So flow, living in flow. We all want to live in a flow state. Okay. The next one is going to be the shoulder girdle. So the shoulder girdle, let me go back to, and that's going to be coming up in just a moment. I have a description of the shoulder girdle that will be in one of the next slides. So the shoulder girdle is going to encompass, let's just refer to the scapular region of your back, the upper part of the back. We call that the wings coming onto the back. We have our whole shoulder girdle that we need in order to help us stay in the posture that will help us flow, that will help your body flow. So shoulder girdle encompasses the entire shoulder girdle, the shoulder blades, also clavicle, our a rotator cuff area. This is what is going to help us stay in our good posture, to be in just simple terms. Okay, so the next one is going to be, we're almost done. Oh, the core. All right, so how many of you, if you want to put in a private chat, or if you want to just put in the chat wherever you're streaming from, and hopefully we'll see it, but again, the private chat will give us more opportunity to see your answers. Is it, what do you think the core consists of? What do you think of when you think of your core? What do you think of? Most often we hear our abs. We may hear that, yes, we want to just have strong abs. Well, I'm going to tell you the core consists of so much more. The core consists of, as I included earlier, the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor is huge. Exactly, abdominals as well as the back. So I can see a few of the comments. So definitely our back. Our deepest abdominal muscle is attached to our back. And many of us don't realize what our core muscles consist of. The six pack is not what we're targeting here. The six pack is that superficial layer that we don't want to over strengthen, because it's going to undermine, they're going to be overused, which we're really focusing on going much deeper into our core structure. We have our diaphragm, huge. Diaphragm, our breath, which we're going to get to here in just a second, which is huge. And so the core consists of so much more. If you want to know more about that, I strongly encourage, of course, hopping on a call, which I'll be sharing throughout, is that if you do want to hear more about all of these topics, then definitely hop on a call with me. Okay, so the next, our breath. And this is going to be a perfect segue into the next slides. So our breath is the key to living. Our breath is our first act of life, and it is our very last. So we must honor it, as Joe Pilates will say. We must build a deeper relationship with our breath, because if we don't, we are truly having a negative impact, or causing a negative impact on our entire health and well-being. Our breath is our lifeline, and we're going to really go deep here in just a moment into the breath. All right. So I'm going to do one more, and I know we're a little bit out of, I'm just pulling them. And if any of you are filling up your card, if you have your card, drop in the private chat, because again, we will be able to see everyone, and there's a winner. So that winner gets a free session with me where we deep dive. And I usually go more than an hour. I'm known to go for many hours in helping you establish a customized plan, because that is my purpose and my love. Okay, very last one that we're going to do or draw is control. So control can often have a negative connotation. But I want to tell you, when we find that inner control, it is going to help you find the control necessary. It's like the control knobs that will help you find that flow state, that will help you understand how you need to snapshot that wheel of life and know how you can start to manage those areas in your wheel of life. Yay, I think we have a bingo. Yay, all right. So definitely we have a winner, so super excited. I think Susan, welcome. Yay, I can't wait to have that time with you. All right, so a little bingo fun, and maybe there wasn't a whole lot of laughter, but let's have laughter, let's have fun, let's play some games. So that life and your movement can be fun. All right, so moving on to the next is going to be, as I shared, Joe Pilates. We're going to bring him into the house. I feel like he lives and resides in me. I just feel that was my gift, and somehow I got a lot of Joe put in me. Above all, learn how to breathe correctly. And if this is one of the many very key parts of not just the movement practice, but in life, it is above all else, just learn how to breathe correctly, because 99% of us are out there breathing incorrectly. And I can tell you, this is your lifeline. This is your medicine. This is what is going to bring you that inner peace. So we can all reflect on a moment where we have been overwhelmed and stressed, right? Overwhelmed and stressed. The very first act should be going inward and finding that breath, because that is going to be the first act of calming you and calming the nervous system. So when you're doing any exercise, breathing is key. And over all of my years, this has been the hardest exercise to teach, the hardest. And even my most advanced people, my people that have been coming to me for years and years, it is still the breath that has been truly the most challenging exercise, because it is an exercise and it is your medicine and it's free. So we're going to talk a little bit about the anatomy, and this is a very, very brief video, but most of us don't really understand the inflow and the exhale and what is really happening. So here's a short video.
When you breathe, air flows in through your mouth and nose and down your airways. Inside your lungs, the airways end in clusters of air-filled sacs. These air sacs are surrounded by tiny blood vessels. Here, oxygen from your lungs passes into your bloodstream to get to tissues throughout your body. Carbon dioxide is breathed out.
All right, so as I said, it's a very short video, but it gives a very good snapshot of what is going on here in our lungs. And more often than not, we are all running around with a very shallow breath. And you can see when we are breathing just up here, maybe we're getting here, all of this is being just left dormant. And Joe has shared in one of his quotes is that here is just going to be all of the stale, dead air that we all know now that is what causes dis-ease and disease. That is where it is all fueling. So those little pockets that we saw, those little bubbles that we want to really fill up and nurture, requires the ability to deep breathe, to expand your lungs. Maybe now you have the visual of those little balloons, those little pockets that you're giving some love by bringing your breath really deep down into the lower lobes of your lungs. And this is what we really need in order to function well and to heal, but also to prevent any possible disease that might be underlying in there. So we really can't emphasize enough here the need to, and this is a need to learn how to breathe correctly. So next is going to be what happens when you're out of balance. And so this is just a little snapshot of what is going on if you are out of balance. And I just term it out of balance. So the soft tissue upper airway is just here. This is the intake of the air. So it's going to be up in here where you're breathing in. And a normal body shape, if I have to bring the term BMI, which I'm not a fan, but let's just call this is a normal weight. If you're within your normal weight and your body enclosure, which is your rib cavity, which is going to be, you can just think of the ribs in your sternum and just the bony areas. If it's normal, which it is usually for most of us, you're going to have a normal airway size. And so this is when you're able to really take in the oxygen and all of the other gases that we do need, but we just think of it as oxygen coming into our lungs. And if you are a little out of balance in your weight, even if you're edging into obesity, I even say if you're pre-diabetic, And we have a normal bony enclosure, our bones, our rib cage. Look at this. This is a teeny tiny airway. So you can take a guess what is happening. It's almost like you're gasping for air. So, how many of you are familiar with sleep apnea? Well, here's a great example of how and why sleep apnea is an issue. Because if we are too excessive in our soft tissues, if we have too much because we are out of balance in our weight, you are not going to be able to take in as much air because your airway is restricted. So there's a lot more to that, but this is just a surface overview to help you have a better understanding of why we need to bring ourselves back into a normal balance, a normal state that is going to give you that homeostasis that we need in order to open up our airways. I'm all about expansion, and we need to expand our airways so that you can expand your life. Okay, so now moving into how your breath moves you. So your breath moves so much more of just than just your physical self, like your actions. Your breath is moving you inside. Your breath is so a part of your every organ, inclusive of your brain, all of your organs that are functioning within you. And if you're not breathing properly, guess what? Your body's not functioning properly. Your organs are not functioning properly. If you're not breathing properly, you are likely compressed. You're likely all kind of shortened and closed in. It feels icky. If you are open and expanded in your breath and you're able to have the airway, the airflow here, I'm not sure if I'm on the right, I'm going to do it right here. If you're able to have that really nice intake of air, your organs are going to function properly. Your brain is going to be oxygenated properly, and therefore your life is going to be operating properly, and you're going to be in that flow state. Okay. So it's so important to understand the light anatomy of breathing, because knowing is the best. Knowing is what is going to help you have that understanding so that you can support your system. Developing that relationship with your breath, I call it your best friend. This is your partner for life. And if we are not strengthening and supporting our partner for life, what is going to happen to us? Oh my goodness, the relationship is going to die off, right? And so we don't want our relationship with our breath to die off. We want to strengthen our breath. And so I tell my clients, this is a daily practice, multiple times a day. Always check into your breath. As I said, the very first act, if you're in a state of overwhelm and your nervous system has spiked and you're in fight or flight, you go to your best friend. You go to your breath. The breath is going to immediately calm you. The breath is going to bring you back to that parasympathetic nervous system that is going to help you find that balance. So establishing a relationship with your breath is number one. That is the first act of living. And so build that relationship. Breathing in the expansion. So we've already talked about that. The more expanded your breath, I can guarantee the more expanded your life will be, the more expanded that wheelhouse will be. And I like to bring in spirituality here. So this is the perfect timing to bring in your relationship with your spiritual side. Not necessarily your religious beliefs, but I do invite any of your religious beliefs, your source. If your source is God, bring God in. If your source is Buddha, bring Buddha in. If your source is Mother Earth, bring Mother Earth into you. When you start to build that expansion of your breath, you are going to expand that relationship with your source. And in my view, this is what grounds us. Bringing in that source that is much bigger than us and having that relationship with your breath is what is going to help you expand out into the world in a much healthier way. the act of giving, the act of spreading, the act of spreading joy, the act of spreading love, all comes from this relationship with your breath, relationship with your spiritual side, your source, and how you then move into something much greater. And that is just key to helping you expand in all of those areas of your will of life. Okay, so onward to how we apply this to our movement. So this is my jam. So we've talked about the spiritual side. We've talked about how you expand within. We've talked about expanding your lung capacity. And how do we now bring this into our body so that we can start to expand within in a much healthier way so that you can start to strengthen, get rid of our bingo arms, and start to release whatever unwanted symptoms you may be experiencing, whether it is emotional or whether it is physical. You will, in building this relationship with your breath and your physical side, is going to help you release any of those unwanted symptoms. Okay, so I always start a session in the movement in the body with preparation. We must prepare. If we go into a gym unprepared, or if we go into any of these fitness movement activities unprepared, you will get injured in some way. It may not be in the moment, but I can guarantee if you do not prepare yourself before you move, you will end up suffering in some way. You'll either fall, you'll get injured, you're working out of balance. So taking the time to really understand how you prepare your physical body, but you will definitely find your movement working more smoothly. So preparation, I always ask to put in imaginary lines of resistance. These imaginary lines of resistance are going to help you just connect to your whole being. So here, I'm just using this example of being in this somewhat of a ball position. Pushing your hands up and pushing your knees up into your hands, and then your hands pressing back in resistance is going to help you access your center here, as well as access the ability to breathe into the back here. So I'm going to critique myself here in this picture. I am back a little bit further than I would desire a client. So this is why all of us, even if we are very experienced and experts in our field, we need to do our own work. So this picture of me, I would say, Lauren, you need to breathe a little bit more into the lower part of your lungs, the lower part of your rib cage, so that you could bring your sternum, which is about right here, up a little bit higher, so that I am then able to access my center, which I will show here in the next slide. So here we are inhaling, I'm moving into the language of it first, but here is the center. So again, see, I would prefer that I was up a little bit higher and breathing into the back of my ribs so that I could access my center. My center should be more drawn in towards the floor. As I'm moving away from my center, I'm moving from this really true center point of my being, and then I'm returning. First, we exhale to then return back to our center. So if there's anything that I could drive home more than any other, especially in the act of motion and movement, is knowing where your center is. So that as you are moving away from your center, right, we saw that already, and then bringing yourself back into your center, that is going to be what helps you stay in the moment, in the zone. That is what is going to help you understand your range of motion. How far are you able to expand? That's range of motion. And knowing where that your edge is, as I term it. How far can you expand away from this true center point? Let me go back to my main slide so I make sure I'm pointing correctly. And I'm not sure if you can see my pointer, but there is your center. And we're going to talk about how you find that here in just a moment. Now I want to apply it actually in movement. This is an old video, so bear with, but again, just like the breathing, it's going to help you just have a brief understanding. So here we go. Double leg extensions. So lying on your back, you'll have your arms reaching long to support the shoulder girdle. And here Watch we
the
are extending
breathing.
and stretching our legs away from our center on an inhale. And here the exhale is what pulls the legs back to your center. Inhale, stretching away. Exhale, drawing back. Repeating 5 times. All right, so just in that brief video, if you were able to see, let me move out of that side so that we're not distracted by others. If you were able to see where my center was, and I'm already jumping to, so here's I know we're moving into Da Vinci's, but I'm going to use him as a model here. So our true center, if you really can find it in your body, which I'm about to help you, and knowing how you move away from that center point, but then you're able to contract and pull right back to the center point, you are going to be protecting your body, but also you're going to be able to strengthen your system, your body, your structure, more in balance in a uniform way. And that is what we want, so that we can be as symmetrical as we can be. We are all asymmetrical just because of our structure, our life, our gait, our whatever is going on. We are a little twisted, but what we're working on is trying to untwist us, trying to find as much symmetry as we humanly can, Knowing where your center is going to help. All right, so let's jump to Da Vinci here. So how many of you are familiar with the Vitruvian Man? Most of us don't know it by the Vitruvian Man. Many of us, or most of us, have likely seen this image in some way. But I could tell you, just like Joe Pilates, Da Vinci was so brilliant, as we know, and so ahead of his time, as was Joe Pilates. But Da Vinci's drawing here was the first of, at least in my history, my research, of really understanding where our true center of our human body is from a mathematic position. So Da Vinci, he's known as such a brilliant artist, but he was also a brilliant scientist. He was a genius and a mathematician. And so he really brought that into showing us in this beautiful image of the Vitruvian Man where the true center is. Right here, just beneath our navel, is the true center of the circumference. It's the center of this circumference, the circle. And I reference in my movement practice always visualizing the circumference around you. Think of it as your protective shield, is that you are going to have your own protective shield, your own circle of circumference, so that you can find that center part of your being. Because I can tell you that is the key to successful movement and successful living, and you becoming your own medicine. And I always put Lauren's stamp of guarantee every time I make a statement like that. So let me move to the next slide. That is going to be a very interesting video, and I just want you to watch it. This one's a little bit longer, so I just watch it in its entirety. And as you're watching it, I want you to take whatever information, let's just call it that, what is showing up for you. Write it down. If you have your notebook or a piece of paper or pen, I want you to jot down the words that stand out for you as you watch this video.
fingers. A foot is 4 palms. A cubit is 6 palms. 4 cubits make a man. A base is 4 cubits. A man is 24 palms. The length of the outspread arms is equal to the height of a man. From the hairline to the bottom of the chin is 1/10 of the height of a man. From below the chin to the top of the head is 1/8 of the height of a man. From above the chest to the top of the head is 1/6 of the height of a man. From above the chest to the hairline is 1/7 of the height of a man. The maximum width of the shoulders is 1/4 of the height of a man. From the breasts to the top of the head is 1/4 of the height of a man. The distances from the elbow to the tip of the hand is 1/4 of the height of a man. The distances from the elbow to the armpit is 1/8 of the height of a man. The length of the hand is 1/10 of the height of a man. The root of the penis is at half the height of a man. The foot is 1/7 of the height of a man. From below the foot to below the knee is 1/4 of the height of a man. From below the knee to the root of the penis is 1/4 of the height of a man. The distances from below the chin to the nose and the eyebrows and the hairline are equal to the ears and to 1/3 of the face. And these measurements are in his buildings.
All right, so that is quite powerful, right? And let me go back to, let me go all the way back to where I guess he got me all excited because he is unbelievable, that picture. So, right, is that just, would love to hear what came to you in watching that. It's not as if we have to know every mathematical position of our human body, but just knowing and understand the emphasis of your ring, the ring around you. I call it your protective ring, that is going to help you move like this beautiful man just showed us. And it is powerful when you are able to make that connection and then be able to move and expand into whether it's movement or whether it is into your daily acts of living. You're going to move, as I keep saying, much more smoothly. And then next, we are going to take it to the next slide is going to be, if I can get to the next slide. There we go. Okay, so again, just by understanding the concept of breath activation and how it moves you from that true center point, you're going to awaken so much in your mind and your body. All right, so who's ready to have a little bit more fun, a little bit more bingo fun? So let's move into our next round of bingo. And as we're moving into our next round of bingo, just again, I really emphasize taking now at this time, this go round of the game, any of these terms that you see here, or if you want to add your own, let's start bringing in your own language into your body, into your life that you want to plug in here. So we'll play with the words or the terms that I have here, but maybe you're adding your own so that you can start to have that deeper relationship and understanding of what these terms mean and how your mind and body relates to them, because that is key. The key to successful living and living disease-free is going to be knowing, the act of knowing. It's all in the act of knowing and understanding. All right, so let's play another round. So this one is going to be for a really nice giveaway. The prize is one of my favorite gadgets. I'm actually charging mine right here, so I'm going to put it on my finger. So I'm going to show you here one of my favorite gadgets that I am super obsessed with, and I try not to attach myself to any of these gadgets and devices that may be gimmicky or just trying to play with us. This one I actually love and a little obsessed with it. So guess what? One of you is going to get an Aura ring. An Aura ring I have found to help me personally, just have a better relationship with my sleep. And how many of you have struggled with your sleep? How many? Okay, I think that could be a huge percentage of us, because I hear that really more than anything, especially as we're going through a transition in life. Those transitions can disrupt us. And guess what the first thing is that's disrupted? Our sleep. Well, the Aura ring will tell you how it's disrupting you. And so when our sleep is disrupted, it has an impact on every part of you, every part, from your weight to your energy levels, to how you're performing physically, to how your body is functioning, how your breath is functioning. Sleep, I cannot tell you how important it is. It is so important. So one of you, whoever the winner of this round, gets an Aura ring. So again, especially for this round, I know that I was able to see the winner of the last round, but I'm going to encourage you that when you get bingo, if you hit it on your board, then I want you to put in the private chat. That way we will be able to see it, because if we don't see it, it's going to be difficult for us to know who has bingoed. Okay, we ready to play another round? Now, what I'm going to also ask is maybe I'm going to give away another free session with me for the ones that want to start to interject their own language. So maybe you give the definition of what you think any of these. I'm going to shake them up. I'm trying to be fair. We're shaking them up. Okay, here we go. The first one is going to be, rolling like a ball. Rolling like a ball. So for those of you that are all familiar with Pilates, we know that every exercise in that system of movement practice, it can always revert back to rolling like a ball, or there's another exercise called elephant. There's another movement called elephant. But rolling like a ball, you can always revert back to. So guess what? I want to go back to our Vitruvian dance. The man who started off, did you see his shape, how he was down and in a ball shape, and how you start to unfurl the spine? Did you see how beautifully he unfurled the spine? I'm not going to go back and play it, but it was that action of unfurling the spine, moving out of this ball shape, that is what is going to help your spine get the movement that it is necessary in order for you to have a properly functioning system. Let's see if Lauren can get that out. Okay, so rolling like a ball is an actual movement in Pilates where you actually roll like a ball and you can have fun. There isn't a class that I have not taught that, or a client that I have not taught, even individually, that when we do rolling like a ball, there is always a laughter that comes with it. So let's all start rolling. Okay, the next one is going to be hundreds. The hundreds is another exercise. The hundreds is a warm-up exercise in Pilates, but let me tell you, it is not easy. It is not an easy warm-up. So the hundreds is what helps to establish that early relationship with your breath. And it stimulates your blood flow, your oxygen levels. It helps to kind of give you that warm sensation inside that we term as that internal shower. So the hundreds is a warm-up exercise. All right, the next, I'm trying to kind of flow through these because I know that Lauren is always known to go a little overtime. We're nearing the end. Okay, I'm just pulling out all of the movements. So here I'm going to go to my board so I can show it. Here we have got teaser. Teaser, who knows about teaser? Teaser is not an easy exercise or movement. I said I kind of refrain from using exercise or fitness these days. I really want it to be just more of a movement strategy that's specific to you. But teaser is when you are just balancing behind your sits bones and you are having the arms and legs extended out in front of you. A lot of core work. So teaser. There are days you can do teaser. There are days you can't do teaser. That's what makes it a tease. It's all teasy. Okay, so next is going to be the shoulder girdle again. So shoulder girdle. So in my guidance of teaching, I refer to the 3 points of stability, and I don't have a frame or slide for that. But the 3 points of stability are going to be the shoulder girdle, which is huge. This is what keeps you kind of upright. This is what I refer to, I often use a visual of that beautiful red dress hanging on a curtain. Hanging on a clothes, what am I trying to say? A hanger, a clothes hanger. So if the red dress is off the clothes hanger, it's going to drop to the floor. But if it's on a really beautiful coat hanger, we can now say it, maybe one of those velvety ones, then it is going to show you the beautiful shape of that red dress. We are the same. If our shoulder girdle is weak and if our posture is poor, guess what? We're going to be droopy. We're going to be droopy everywhere. And so we don't want to be droopy, do we? No. So shoulder girdle is one of the 3 points of stability that I emphasize. Multiple, sometimes get tired of hearing myself speak about it. Okay, the next one, this is very timely. Inner thighs. So inner thighs, where are you? So here we have the inner thighs. That is another part of our 3 points of stability. Without your inner thighs energetic, engaged, you're likely out of alignment. So just being aware of your inner thighs, that's going to protect your hips. It's going to protect your back. It is going to engage your core, which is the other part of your 3 points. So we have shoulder girdle, inner thighs, and your core. Those are the 3 points. So we have inner thighs. Now I'm just like breezing through these. So if somebody has a bingo, as I said, put it in the private chat so that we make sure we see it. Okay, so the last draw that I'm going to bring out, or I'm going to keep drawing until somebody does, let me come back to the comments here, is we've got concentration. Okay, so we already pulled out control. These are parts of the principles of Pilates. So I'm going to go actually back to, which is going to be the next slide anyway. Here is the slide where we have, here I have the pillars of health. Here we have the principles of movement. So the principles of movement, we have centering, concentration, control, precision, flexibility, and flow, and breath. So all of these should be working in a truly flow state, weaving in and out of all of these areas of your will of life. All of those areas of your will of life. So having this control and precision, and this that I just drew is your concentration. So is anyone nearing a bingo? Is anyone nearing a bingo? We would like to hear from you. So I'm going to draw one more. And okay, well, I'm pulling out all of the principles. So we have precision, and I've already even brought that forward. So precision, how precise can you be in your movement? How precise can you extend away from your core center and bring it back? Precision is really being, again, just very finely aware of all actions that you're taking, being precise with your breath, being precise with the words that you choose in a conversation with your partner, being precise and aware of the conversation you're having at work, being precise with the action you're taking when you are sending an email. Do you see how this plays into everyday life and your professional life as well? It's so important to having all of those areas of your will of life working well, whether it's personal or if it's professional. All right, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to check in with Ivy here to see if we have a winner. And it looks like we do. So thank you, Ivy, for popping that in. I just had to look at my private chat just to make sure that I was accurate there. All right, so just having fun here in the game of bingo is moving us now into the final part of our time together. And so I invite you into this movement. I invite you into this way, this lifestyle, this way of living that is more fluid and less disrupted, less distracted and more in flow, where all of these pillars of health and well-being are humming and moving smoothly together. And I tell you, it takes showing up, it takes practice and persistence. It does take time. So, but with that, you will find very quickly, if you show up and you do this work and you really start to implement these strategies and these skills, and you start to develop the tools that are specific to you, not to anyone else. It can't be my plan. It can't be Susie's plan. It can't be Jane's plan. It must be a plan specific to you, from your movement to your nutrition, to your sleep, to your relationship health, your financial health, your spiritual health, your emotional. All of these are very specific to your core center, nobody else's. And this is what we do in our sessions, our time together. So I am excited to share that I have a new session starting August the 1st. And this is going to be 6 months. I'm going to bring forward full disclosure. I'm very transparent, is that I just recently implemented a 3-month program. And I knew going into it that it was not the right thing to do, but I did it anyway. And then I regretted it because I didn't give it enough time. It takes time. And I always say it's that on the 3rd day, it's the 3rd month, it's the 3rd of something that things shift. Always. So it's like the 3rd day of your vacation and you finally get into a rhythm. And then what happens? You are having to pack up and leave and go home. And then you're left kind of going, wah, wah. It's kind of the same in this movement practice, is that if you leave too early, it's not going to work for you. That's a guarantee. It's just not going to work. It's just like the diet that maybe you lasted the whole 30 diet for 3 days. And then you're going, oh my gosh, I just need to eat. It's the same thing. So this is what I help you with in discovering what program, what tools are specific to you so that you can maintain the journey, because it is a journey, friends. It is a lifelong journey. So it's starting August the 1st. Here are just a few outlines that I have here of some of the things that you will get. But the biggest impact that you will get is that it will be that customized plan so that you can get to the goals that you desire. Whatever your specific unique goals are, that is what I will guarantee. If you show up for the entirety and you do the work, at the end of this, let's just say when we reach January, you will be a rock star. You will have unleashed your powers, but you do have to show up. So you get the weekly coaching, the personalized movement and nutrition strategy, food prep. We're doing some fun this time around. I'm going to start having food prep days where we all get together virtually and we are all chopping up our food together and we're laughing. We're listening to a little music. For those that want a little glass of wine, we'll have a little toast of wine. But we're going to make food prep fun so that you start using your custom nutrition plan in a fun way. We're going to, every Sunday, I'm going to do a weekly meditation. So every Sunday you can join me live virtually, or you can watch the replay. But I truly and totally recommend that you on Sunday, you just really start to meditate on what happened last week. And then how are you going to move into the following week? And I just find taking that time to really move inward and get comfortable with meditation is where a lot of the juicy medicine is. And then weekly emails go out to you. And then there's on-demand coaching. Those are just a few where I am available and you have access to me. I'm going to have more office hours this go round, so that if you're really needing support, you can just plop in. We'll get on for 15 minutes. That will help kind of recalibrate you and get you on track. So I am all about being present, and I'm all about giving you and everyone that comes into my services in my house is that I give you the attention. I give it to you. And I've learned, I've stumbled, I've had to kind of make some changes and alter here, do this, do that, so that it becomes a program that is meeting anyone's desire, and so that the outcome is what you desire. The outcome is all about you. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just your guide. I was just given this gift of doing this for over all these years. And so I've stumbled, as I said, and I've had to perfect things here and decide here, listening to all my past clients. So I cannot wait to start this 6 months. It'll start August the 1st. And guess what? It's going to get us through January 31st, where you are going to be a powerhouse. And I have some super, super, super exciting news. I have a live event, and guess when it's going to be? And it's going to be in January. And for those early adopters here, so any of you that jump in, you are going to be able to attend this event for free. I'm throwing in the live event, but it is going to be unbelievable. We are already in the process of planning it. And it's a surprise. A location will be shared coming up here as we start to nail down some of the logistics. But that is just one of the many bonuses. For many of you that don't know, I host retreats in Italy. Yes, you can go to Italy too. And for those early adopters that do come in and join and that are a part of any of these group sessions that I host, you get a pretty darn good discount on some of these real special events that we do together. I can tell you, Italy has my heart. Italy has me just by the heartbeat. I'm not Italian, but I have a family there and I have a home there that I can tell you is just unbelievable. So these are just a few of the highlights. And if you are ready to join, are you ready? Let's do this. I invite you in. Ivy, if you can drop the link to the calendar in the chat, you can click the link. It's just to get on a call with me. I hope during this hour you have gathered that I am not pushy. I'm very open and transparent, and that this is all about the person I'm speaking with. It's about having a conversation. It is not about pushing you into anything. It's about helping to answer any questions that you may have to see if this is a right fit for you. I would never put anyone in a situation that it would not be a right fit. So that's what this discovery call would be, is to see, is this a right fit for you? You come with all your questions, see if it's something that you would really align with, and we can go over all of the details. So book your strategy call now. This has been like filling up, and I've been super excited. As I share with all of the people in my world, in my orbit, is that the more the merrier. I do believe that, but I also believe in intimacy. So I am only taking a select few. I don't like large crowds. It's like going on a retreat. If you have 20 people, whoo, that's way too much. Too many different personalities, it gets lost. You lose that intimacy. In our group sessions, it's all about bringing in the intimacy, because it's that intimate connection that is going to nurture the connections of the people in the group. But it's also what helps to feed the group. It helps to feed, the energy that you need in order to achieve those results and unleash whatever it is that you're wanting to unleash, those symptoms, or what your goals are, what your aspirations are. So I encourage you to now, if Ivy, thank you for dropping. Perfect. So the calendar link is there in the chat, and just book your call, and would love to have that conversation with you to see if this is a right fit for you. And I just am grateful. Did I actually end? I'm 6 minutes over. Thanks to all of you who have been staying tuned wherever you are. And I am grateful for having you with us this hour. And let's do this thing. Let's do it. Let's all become conscious strong. And it starts with finding conscious movement. It starts with that breath. So if there's one takeaway here, is build the relationship with your breath. If that's all you want to get on a call with me and let me help guide you, hop on a call with me, because that's what I love. I love helping. I love helping my people. So let's do this. You don't see the link. So let's see. I am going to, hang one sec. There we go. So there is the calendar link. It's up on the screen now. I'm going to see if I can't copy and paste it. So what I'll do is I'll go back and put that in the chat, in the full chat. You don't see the link. Okay, so let's see, calendar link. So if you want to jot that down really quick, it's HTTP, and hide those now. You can just hop on a call. Let's go here. There we go. Sorry, it's like, there we go. There we go. Meetwithlauren.me, meetwithlauren.me, but put the HTTP : / meetwithlauren.me, and we'll get that link in all of the chats afterwards for the replay. So book your call. I am super excited, and I cannot wait for this next group to start. Everyone will start August the 1st. Everyone, because I made that mistake of doing open enrollment and the group got disconnected. It just didn't get in the flow. So I've learned. So for between now and the start of August, for those that do go ahead and sign up now, you get to go ahead and start with me now. You'll get, that's an extra month. So you'll get a free month if you go ahead and sign up now. All I ask is for a deposit. I will go over all of that with you on the call. It's a $500 deposit, just to share with anybody out there. But that will get your spot in, and that will get you started. That will start getting you set up in the system. You'll start having access to all of the tools and the resources. You'll have time with me. We can go ahead and do the discovery session that you get with me, which is an hour and a half, a 90-minute session. And so I strongly encourage you to jump on in, go ahead and book your call so we can get you started. Awesome. Okay, that's a wrap for today. Thank you for joining the masterclass. I will be sharing the replay for anyone that wants to watch it again, just to see if it's a right fit for you. But book a call with me. I'll see you soon. Bye.